couch. We'll then take questions after, so raise your hands, please.
All right. Before we get going on the upcoming games, Derrion Reid. Nobody wants to hear about Derrion. Good. Now, Derrion had a little bit of discomfort following the Georgia game. You know, we had him out, brought him back, continued to increase his basketball workload, but since we anticipate him having a long, successful basketball career, well after he's done playing in college, we didn't want to jeopardize any of his long-term health. So, you know, we're trying to make decisions that benefit him both in the short term and long term, and we don't try to use anybody just to win games. So he's going to be out tomorrow, and he'll be game to game moving forward until he's able to go through full practice and not experience any type of significant discomfort. So that everybody else will be available. It's been available. That's where we're at on the injury front. It's been good to have the bye game. You know, we had a week between games. I think some guys got rested. You know, we had a lot of guys banged up against Georgia. So, you know, I think Mo D looked a lot better today than, he a little banged up, so his minutes were a little low. Thought a lot of guys got fresh. So I think, you know, the biggest thing for us with this bye week was getting guys physically healthy, mentally recharged, refreshed. Thought we had a really good practice yesterday and today, both after having an off day on Wednesday. And we're going to need it. You know, we got a tough 2-game road trip in front of us. Arkansas is playing significantly better than they were just a couple weeks ago. I think that, you know, the win at Kentucky certainly helped get their confidence up. You know, they've won back-to-back road games at Texas. They look pretty dominant for most of that game. They're a different team now, you know, and Boogie's a really good player. We obviously recruited him, and I got a lot of respect for his game, but it seems like some other guys kind of be able to get going a little bit. Maybe they've found their flow a little bit after his injury. You know, Janelle Davis, very good player. Him and Ron Blood were co-player of the year in the American last year. You know, he's been averaging 14 since Boogie went out. Seems like he's playing a little better. You know, they're a good team, and they've won 3 of the last 4. I think we got to look at them as what they've looked like in their last 4 games, because this is who they currently have. This is what their rotation is. This is how hard they're currently playing. This is how the ball's moving now. So to look at anything previous to that, I think it'd be foolish. When you watch them in their last 4 games, they're one of the better teams we're going to face. Their talent level is really high. And our guys got to understand it's not easy to win on the road against anybody, and this team's playing as well as anybody right now. So we've got a tough game in front of us. Then we've got a quick turnaround, late game Saturday night. Then we play Tuesday at Texas, so we got a tough 2-game road trip to kind of start off this back 9. The last 9 games, according to BPI, is the toughest remaining schedule in the country. So, you know, it was key for us, I thought, this week to get healthy for it, and then to try to just shore up a few things. So obviously our turnover's been an issue. We've been trying to work on that. I think we've been better with it in practice. Hopefully we can be better with it starting in the Arkansas game. And then our defense has to continue to get better as well. So looking forward to seeing what our guys look like though after a week off.
Like,
yeah, you mentioned it already, but just how good was this week from a rest perspective for your guys, and also how's LeBaron kind of progressed with that ankle? Is he getting close to 100%?
Yeah, I thought he looked really good. You know, we obviously went a lot harder yesterday in practice than we did today. I thought he looked great. I think, you know, Diabate, LeBaron getting healthier, and then just at this point of the year and approaching the middle of February, there's nobody that's going to be totally, you know, everybody's going to have a little bit of something here or there, and I think it was just good. I mean, we went very late Monday, off Wednesday, you know, so we were we were off Sunday, light Monday, off Wednesday. There's really only one kind of significantly hard day in that four-day stretch there going into Thursday. We went pretty hard on Thursday, but that's 2 days out before a game. So I think LeBaron will look like he's got a lot more pop. Like I said, Diabate looks like he's got a lot more pop. And Derrion's just, we're going to hold him out until he doesn't have the discomfort he had in his leg.
Jack.
You talked about the momentum that Arkansas has kind of gained in the last few games. How big will it be for you guys to have a kind of strong start, maybe suck the energy out of that building early?
Yeah, their fan base, we played in there, that place is loud. I think Auburn's probably the loudest place in the league. But that when they get it going at Arkansas, they rival it. We've had some, really good games there, come out on the good end and the bad end both. So, on the road, it'd be great if we could have a great start and kind of quiet them early. But they got good fan base. They got good basketball people. They understand what game's about, and I anticipate them having a good crowd there after the way they've been playing these last 4 games.
Nick Kelly.
Yeah, in the time that you've had to meet with guys, meet with the team this past week, what has been messaging that you want to make sure they get through? That's more macro, that's not just a turnovers defense kind of thing. Like, what is the overall messaging to them?
Yeah, I think our deal is we've got a really tough 9-game stretch, and if you look at the 9 games as a whole, you get yourself in trouble. What you got to do is you got to take them one at a time, and in order to take them one at a time, you got to really be able to focus in on one possession at a time in the game. The only way to really get good at that and to practice that is doing the same thing in practice. So, let's focus in here on practice. Let's take practice one possession at a time. We know what the big picture is, and the big picture was we needed to get ourselves mentally and physically fresh this week without getting rusty. So I think as a training staff, strength and conditioning with Henry, coaching staff, I think we've done a good job of keeping them sharp, keeping our conditioning where it needs to be while getting healthy. So let's get healthy, but let's not look at 9 games. Let's look at Arkansas. How do we prepare for Arkansas? We have a great day in practice today. How do we do that? It's every play, it's every drill, it's just be where your feet are. I know it sounds cliche, but that's really what we got to do. We can't look at the next 4 weeks. We got to look at the next 1 game and just focus on that right now.
Chase, on your right.
You've talked a lot recently about the importance of cutting down on offensive turnovers. Defensive turnovers, you guys are 15th out of 16 in the league, averaging about 10.5 per game. Is that a big part of the emphasis as well?
Not really. If you go back to 2 years ago when we were 3rd in the country in defense, we didn't turn people over a ton. Different defenses are built different ways. We're a little bit more of a force tough shots, effective field goal. Now, if our effective field goal percentage isn't great, forcing a lot of tough contested twos, and you don't turn people over, you're not going to have a good defense. So, if you kind of look, some of the teams in college that do force a lot of turnovers have great defenses. Their field goal percentage defense isn't always the best, so you can kind of do it different ways. We've got to get better. I think last I looked on KenPom, I think we're 6th maybe in conference only games. Is that correct? That's got to get better. We're 1st in offense and 6th in defense. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. So, Auburn's got better offense than we do over the course of the year. If you just looked at SEC only games, I think we're 1st and 6th. So our defense has to come up. We know that. 15th is way too low, but that's not an area where we're trying to be 1. We're not trying to take a lot of gambles. We're trying to play extremely sound, physical, without fouling, forcing the shots that we're comfortable giving up on defense, and sometimes that doesn't necessarily lead to a ton of turnovers. If we could force 1 or 2 more a game, though, and go from 15th to middle of the pack, and then jump our defense from 6th up to a little closer to the top, I think increase our chances significantly to win the league. So but a little bit of a concern, not a huge concern on the turnover rate on defense.
Hunter.
Is there such thing really as a trap game in the SEC, and what really makes a Coach Cal team so dangerous?
Yeah, there's plenty of trap games. I mean, I try to use examples in college all the time. I mean, the ACC, Duke's winning it. Clemson was a game behind at the start of the week. They get Duke at home. I think it's the only time they play each other all year. So all they got to do is beat Duke at home on Saturday, and they're tied with Duke and have the tiebreaker for the rest of the year, as long as they win out. And they're not in that situation anymore because they didn't take care of business against Boston College at home. So, you know, I can't speak for them. I don't know what happened, but you know, that's, to me, an example of maybe they didn't overlook them. I don't know. Maybe Boston College has played great, but I think we've somewhat overlooked teams here in the past. It's not a mature thing to do. It's not what a team that's got veteran leadership should be doing, and I hope we don't do it. But there's plenty of opportunities for it. I mean, a week from Saturday we get Auburn at home. You know, if you're focused on Auburn a week from now and not focused on Arkansas, you're gonna lose. And you know, if we're fortunate enough to have a decent game in Arkansas, again, if you're focused on Auburn at home a week from now and you're not focused on what you need to do at Texas, it's going to be a loss. So there's plenty of opportunities for trap games in the league, if that's what you want to call them. I like to call them more maturity tests. Like, are we mature enough to handle our business right now and not look ahead? I hope we are. I hope we've learned some lessons already this year. And then the second part of your question, what makes it Coach Cal team so tough to go against? I think he's one of the best motivators. He's one of, if not the best recruiter in the history of college basketball. And he's one of the best motivators in college basketball. You can see how he got his team ready to go going into Rupp. Thought they played the most inspired game of the year. They're tough, they're physical, they play hard on defense. He's always had good defensive teams. He's got talented offensive teams that looks a lot more like they're sharing the ball a lot more now than they were a few weeks ago, and it makes it tougher. So, you know, I've always respected him. I was a high school coach, and he was at Memphis. I went down and even studied him when he was running dribble drive. He had Derrick Rose. I thought he was very innovative at the time, and you know, I think he knows how to put his guys in positions to win. And they're usually a hard playing group that it's tough. They get on the old boards, they guard you, they turn you over. Their defense is tough, physical, aggressive again, and they're going to be motivated to play coming back home after getting 2 good road wins.
Anyone else? Awesome. Thanks, Coach.